Blue snowball. Plugged in. Here we go. That looks about right. Getting anything now? Yes, sounds good. All right, so congrats on the win. He used Protect a lot. First of all, thank you. You know, welcome to the winner's circle, fellas. Yeah, so obviously, Luke, very proud of you, but you stole my record of fastest sweep in the league. Background music's loud. We'll turn that down. Thanks. This is why I do like a chill before we actually start getting into it. Make sure stuff like this, kinks like this, get worked out. You stole my record, you son of a bee. And now I had to set out this week to try and get it back during the playoffs. I was like, I'm just going to chilling reception turn one and try and bolt beak through his whole team, Terra Electric bolt beak, and just mess him up. That was the plan. Mess him up. And it didn't work. He was able to prevent it. You put in no work, Playboy. I know. Jesus, that was rough. So, yeah, that was my plan, was just come in this week, try and chilling reception through it, which is why I didn't win round one. I mean, that's not the whole reason. He actually played very well. I was impressed. But game two, he was not playing half as well. I was able to keep the webs off. My whole team was speed creeped to beat out whatchamacallit. Yeah, because he used Protect. Oh, I was furious at his Protect usage. I'm trying to freaking get a quick sweep, and he's just not letting me attack him. He's got Baneful Bunker. He's got Protects. It was lame. But he did put up a good fight. But that lack of offensive pressure is what ended up costing him. As soon as he started exerting offensive pressure, I folded like a house of cards. As soon as that Pheromosa started hitting me. But the next two games, he didn't get any pressure going, and I 6-0 swept him for it. So, whose replays do we want to start with? Should we just go look at Luke's ridiculous sweeps? Is that what we're going to start with? Your series was intense. Tyler, I hope so. I haven't been coaching him all week, but before your game, he sent me it. I was like, I like it. Here's my tweaks. Here's what I would do. Some interesting sets. And then I mostly just guided him on like, hey, if he does this, maybe round 2, try this. Round 3, you could try this. And more so than giving him advice on how to build his team, I gave him advice on how to react to your changes. That's really what I was going for. So, how to react to your team prep. So I hope to see that he actually made some of those switches, because we shopped out like a couple. Basically, we just built substitute Pokemon that he would be able to like plug in. Like, okay, if we don't see Ampharos, maybe do this. What was the other ones? If Tyler's team ends up being slow, drop this. Do that. If you end up getting swept game 1, try this. We had it was basically like hazers, drop a scarf, that sort of thing. Alright, so we want to start with the Tylord series. Looks like it only went to 2. Ah, I see he didn't go for the Hatterini like I recommended he do. When did we see him pay for that? Who do we want? Who do we put in the bad guys position for this match? I feel like Tylord's team just looks way better in the bad guy slot. Both teams look better in the bad guys position. We'll switch it up. Tylord and the bad guys. No, we got to be consistent for the video when this goes up later. Oh, well, it's a good thing. Thank God the stream is here to correct me from being an imbecile today. Yo, did you guys see my new video got almost 1,000 views? I'm at 900 views. I got like 6 subscribers off that shit. It's fire. I'm fucking stoked on it. Almost 1,000 views. Jacked up. Jacked up on it. Somebody told me to turn the brightness up on my camera, and now I feel like you can just see this pimple, like way bigger. That pisses me off. All right, let's get started. Let's quit fiddle fucking around. First up this week, we got Matt versus Tylord. Pretty good matchup, I think. We've already seen this matchup once before. Tylord says that he thinks Matt is his worst matchup in the league, so I'm sure he did a lot of prep to make sure he doesn't get foiled by this team. And let's see what he has in store for us. I'll be able to give some good commentary on Matt's team as I know what it is. I believe it's a Switcheroo Toxic Thunderwave set with Trick Room is what we're looking at here. So he does end up switcherooing a Toxic Orb onto the Regigigas. That is great stuff. Actually, Matt is starting off great right away. Oh my gosh. So, check it out. Turn 1, switcheroos the Toxic Orb on it, puts it on the Regigigas. Regigigas hates that. He needs to stay on the field for a long time to be any good. Now he's on a timer. That game plan's over. Turn 2, Reggie tries to place a Thunder Wave. Klefki magic coats that back at him, which doesn't actually do anything to the Reggie because it's already toxic, but it just wastes another turn of Toxic Chip and just Tylord got nothing out of that turn. He does end up knocking off, but I think he knocked off turn 1, so there's just nothing. Was it the leftovers? I don't remember how exactly they played out. So, both players switch out. The Rotom comes in on the Rhyperior. Rhyperior misses the Mega Horn, and the Hydro Pump is missed as well. We get a Rock Blast doing a huge amount of damage as it connects for 4 different hits and KOs. Looks like Moltres has some sort of plan to stop the Rhyperior. Okay, so it was a Terra Bug Rhyperior, and Matt, thinking on his feet, goes into his Fire type, isn't afraid of the Rock Blast, and tries to just rip an Overheat, which does a huge chunk to the Regigigas, who then gets U-turned on. The Toxic is going to chip him down, and Reggie is almost out of this match, which will balance up the game 5-0. Klefki takes his Toxic Orb back on Reggie's last turn alive. Reggie gets nothing out of that turn, whereas Klefki is able to spread more Toxic around. However, due to the paralysis, the Volcarona just snipes with the Fiery Dance. Matt's lucky he doesn't get the boost there. Now this Flareon, I know for a fact that this is a defensive Flareon who's now spreading Toxic onto the Ampharos. That's great. Really just putting Tylord on a timer. Now the Heal Bell on Ampharos is revealed, which makes me wonder, why didn't Tylord, try and get that Heal Bell off earlier and maybe save Reggie? Matt is just playing out of his mind right now, getting a ton of damage down. If I was him, I maybe would have left that in and just kept Sludge Bombing because my Thick Fat ability helps in the Volcarona matchup. We get a Volcarona on a timer. It hates that. It likes to stay in and sweep. Goes for the Terra Steel to survive the Bug Buzz and gets the Lava Plume down. Is that the death of Volcarona? Oh my god. Matt's playing out of his mind. It's 4-4. It's an even match. Versus one of the best players in the league, it's an even match. Now, this is the situation where you really would have wanted to go into the Moltres. I believe Moltres has a good matchup versus everyone here. But, you live and you learn. Venusaur's doing nothing to Ampharos. Gets the Leech Seed down, preventing the Cotton Guard timer set. Preventing the Cotton Guard with a timer. But Venusaur gets Thunder Wave. Is Matt about to win? I mean, this is looking really great for him. Marshadow's getting chipped, which is something he needs. Marshadow getting a little more chip from the Leech Seed. Able to almost KO with the Venusaur, but Venusaur is able to get some health back with the Leech Seed, but it's probably going to die here to another Acrobatics. Instead, we go into the Scizor versus Moltres. Again, I think he just, overheats or like Will-O-Wisp or something. Instead, the best Pokemon on the opponent's team is down. If we can keep the Moltres alive for the Scizor, yes, we can win. With ease, I'd say. Yes. The Dragon Pulse KOs the Venusaur. All right, let's go into the Chien. Go into the Chien, yes. And double into Moltres? No. Instead, we get the KO here. So Rhyperior's probably going to Rock Blast. Yeah, I would consider that as well. Yep, he Rock Blasts. I would have gone for the Sacred Sword as well. I say you keep Sacred Swording. And hopefully he's got Flamethrower in the back just to handle these guys, right? Like, how is Rhyperior that tanky that he doesn't lose? So he doesn't have a move other than Overheat. And so now Rhyperior's able to survive and KO with the Rock Blast. Doesn't miss a single Rock Blast all game. If Tylord was at all unlucky, then it was over. Matt would have had that game if Tylord... Wow. In the previous match, if there was just a little less luck on Tylord's side, or a little more good luck on Matt's side, totally different ball game. So let's talk about the changes they made. We see the Ting Lu has been filled in for the Rotom Wash. That appears to be the only change that's been made. Whereas the Reggie Gigas gets replaced with a Rillaboom, which, looking at my opponent's team, I'm not sure I agree with that decision. But looks like he's maybe trying to prevent these Leech Seed shenanigans. Tylord hasn't brought this Rillaboom pretty much at all season long, so not totally sure what to expect. Alright, let me just reset here. So, as leads, we get the Ampharos versus the Moltres. Ampharos KO'd Moltres last game, so he pulls out. Probably wants to avoid the Dragon Pulse. No, avoids the Signal Beam. As the red card gets revealed, forcing Scizor out, we go into the Moltres. What are we going to get? Another Fire Blast? Maybe a Flamethrower is revealed? Yep, looks like Matt slotted in the Flamethrower this time. If it was still U-turn, he could have safely U-turned, because last game we saw that his Moltres set was faster than the Ampharos, assuming they're running the same set. Sludge Bomb doing a good amount of damage to Ampharos, as the Venusaur gets paralyzed from the discharge once again. So, hopefully Matt continues to get lucky and doesn't get too much paralysis. Klefki in on the Marshadow. Marshadow afraid of whatever shenanigans Klefki might try and pull. Looks like he was going for a Toxic. I may have gone for the Thunder Wave myself, which it looks like Tylord would have predicted that decision from me. So we get screens up. That's not that great. Looks like his special attackers are Ampharos and Volcarona. I would have maybe gone for a Reflect. But I know Tylord likes to mid-game the Volk and the Ampharos and saving the Marshadow for the end. So maybe that is the right decision. The Brick Break shatters the screens. Doesn't even matter. And was that a critical hit? No, just 72% times 2 with the Fighting Terra type. A massive chunk of damage, shattering a Ting Lu in half. Talk about a power bomb. Oh my gosh. What does he have to prevent this now? The Air Slash not doing enough, but flinches. Does it connect for a second Air Slash in a row? No, he goes for the U-turn into the Klefki, and he high horsepowered into a Moltres. Tylord playing out of his mind with the predictions. No way! What? That is an insane prediction. What in the world was that? I need to breathe in for a second. Take a drink of this water. It's water. It's sparkling water. What the fuck, Tylord? You're cheating. You got an inside man? You got a vibrator up your ass telling you what to click? What the hell was that? Oh my god. Calls out the Leech Seed. Goes to the Substitute. We get the Bulk Up. One of the most dangerous Marshadow sets, in my opinion, and this is just going to sweep, steal the show. He's out of his phasing at this point. He's getting paralyzed. Giga Drain is able to break the Substitute, but we basically just have to have... If he's still the Scarf set, he needs to break this Substitute. He needs to break the Substitute. I'm sorry. He needs to break the Substitute and have his Scarf Chien-Pao out in front of it just to not get swept. Terra's normal, maybe expecting a Ghost-type attack. Ends up getting Drain Punched. That's not good. Critical hit didn't matter in this situation. Unfortunate that he didn't get the... Oh, I thought he had Flame Body. It has Flash Fire. Huh. I guess that helps with the Volcarona matchup. But at this point, I'm just talking about nothing. I mean, we're just looking at a brutal sweep. We know Chien Pao's a dark type. He's just going to get nuked off the field. Oh my god, it's brutal. Bye-bye. That's it. Oh my god. That first game was great, but, you know, that's what separates our really good players. They might have a close game or a loss, but in these best 2 out of 3s, they learn from the first game, and they'll put you in a body bag by game 2. That was a good game. That was a good game. We want to jump into another one? Who wants up next? Let's talk about the new record-holding game. Did it happen both games? All right, first of all, let's just see how the first game went. I don't know what happened in this match. So, turn 1, Dreadnought Shell Smashes. Cloudsire's unaware, so he doesn't really matter. He doesn't care about these stat boosts. Instead, he switches out into someone who does care about the stat boosts. Goes into the Ditto, tries to copy. That's good. Goes for Crunch, almost KOs. Gets Earthquaked. If you had Earthquake, why didn't you use it? You know? Just Earthquake. Earthquake almost destroys Dugio's almost his entire team. Why didn't he learn that game 2? Cloudsire is able to get the KO here, thank God. Now he's got a spike up, and it's a 4 versus 5 situation. Darkrai, it's going to do Darkrai things, isn't it? He's going to put Cloudsire to sleep, and then, you know, do some bad dreams, some nasty plotted. Rabaska goes to bed. Bad dreams takes away the health. Nasty plots go up, and then he's just gonna, what, Dark Pulse to the team? Let's give Darkrai access to Fiery Wraith. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if Darkrai was just more busted? I think that'd be nice. Goes for another Dark Pulse. Looks like it's gonna be able to, like, 3-hit KO Cloudsire. 4? I don't know math. I'm not good at math. Okay, there's another one. Darkrai gets put on the timer. Okay, so the Wonder U's not totally out this match. He won't be able to get his Trick Room up, and now he's got 3 Dark Weeks in front of a Dark Pokemon. Lets the Substitute get put up. Would have been great if he could have gone into the, like, Alolan Marowak and, like, Terra'd into something. Like, if he could have gone Terra Fighting here. Woo! Terra Fighting would have gone crazy! Would have gone absolutely wild with, like, Bone Rush, Flare Blitz, what, like Close Combat or something? I don't know. Yeah, now he's just ripping the Dark Pulses through the whole team. Is it Choice Scarf Houndstone? Choice Scarf Houndstone gonna sweep? Rage Fist almost crits, almost KOs, but gets the KO on the Annihilate, and then he just goes into the Aegis Slash and Shadow Sneaks. Dugio, you know, I don't think last season he would have had the, you know, thought to use priority in this situation, but, like, making the right plays every week. You know, when it comes down to these situations, I can actually predict him now because he's making the right decisions. So, you know, there's some growth there. I'm very happy with your gameplay recently, Luke. Very happy. You're playing much better. Now let's talk about this shit show. Let's put Dugio in the bad guy slot for this. Over here in the bad guy's position, we have the new record. Previously this year, I set the record for fastest sweep in our Draft League's history at, I believe, 11 turns. And it has just been crushed with this 8-turn sweep. Look at how this goes down. He goes Dreadnought, and he goes in Shell Smashes right away. The Wonder Review has not learned from game 1 and goes right into Slowking, who got one-shotted by Dreadnought the first round. And now it just goes Terra Water, Strong Jaw, and it crunches through the entire team. Earthquake, see, that's the only reason this wasn't a 7-turn sweep. He Shell Smashes, takes 2 turns to destroy Cloudsire, and then one-hit KOs everything on the team. Dreadnought outspeeds the Ditto, outspeeds Dreadnought, and he didn't learn from game 1 to click fucking Earthquake. So instead, he just dies again. Like, is that purposely losing? How did he not click the move that kills? I mean, literally, if he just steals that boost and then does the same thing back to Dugio, he also wins. But instead, he just gets swept. It's infuriating, and I lost my record because of it. 8 turns to win GG. And fuck you. Oh. Yeah, I'm just looking over here at the side. How you guys doing today? Did anybody watch that that Golem game? Oh, you guys are still talking. I don't think EQ kills. Oh, EQ might not kill with the Terra Water. You're right. I always forget about Terra typings. It might not kill. You're absolutely right about that, Haymaker. Don't know why he never ran Scarf Houndstone. Absolutely. I would have been Scarf Houndstone more weeks than not, frankly. And I would have traded my way into a Sand setter so that I could have Sand Rush Houndstone as well. I know it's not a super proud moment. Terra Fighting Marowak would have gone hard, absolutely. Yeah, Dugio was Terra Water, no rock weakness. Yeah, the ground type Earthquakes wouldn't have done as much for sure. And he didn't bring Stab Water for him to like hit a nuke. Which, okay, hey, I got a question. Why Terra Water? Why wouldn't you go like Terra Earthquake or Terra Ground, Terra Dark, Terra Ice, like boost power those attacks? Or like a defensive Terra, like a Terra Dark in the face of a Last Respects. That could have been good. Terra Water, like it's a defensive Terra because you don't have water moves to boost the damage of. So that's a defensive Terra, but it's defensively Terra typing into something you already are, so you're already going to be getting hit with those attacks. Just doesn't seem that smart. Like, if I'm looking at you, I really want to click Giga Drain or a grass type attack because you have a quad grass weakness. So if you did like Terra Fire or Terra Bug, that would be really good for helping you get off those shell smashes. All right. Let's check out the motherfucking replays. We got the Thought Police. Okay, let's load these up. Did we get 3 matches from the Thought Police? Just 2. That gives me anxiety. Why did we only need 2? We are going to put the Flutter Mane in the bad guy's position because fuck that Pokemon. We got David here, who infamously does not change his team up at all. So, let's see if he has ran the same sets this week as he always does, and if the Black Dog was able to abuse this. This is the championship. It's the playoffs. We're leading up to the championship, so you got to take these things seriously and try and abuse these people. All right. So, Lucario, lead Lucario versus Victini. I would remove my Lucario as well. Don't want to get hit with the V-Create, which Latios is able to tank. What's Latios going to do? Take another one. That speed drop wasn't enough to outspeed the Victini. So, instead we get the Mega Pinsir coming in with the Quick Attack. Not enough as another V-Create gets ripped. Black Dog down early. 6-4. Way sooner than I thought. Flutter Mane able to come in and get the revenge. Cerule Edge has historically been a Scarf set. So let's see if he does that again. Does he just go for the KO? No, he decides to boost and gets a KO with the Shadow Sneak. Now Lucario comes out, probably a Bullet Punch set. Yep, removes Cerule Edge. Now we have a 4 versus 3 situation. Lucario, Terra Steel, Bullet Punch, a very powerful attack as the Reflect goes up. Goes for a Swords Dance, hoping to power through these Reflects, I believe. As another Brick Break comes out to destroy the screens. Very, very smart. Now we got the Bullet Punches. Oh my god, Cloyster's defense stat is so insane. It just took a +2 Terra Steel Bullet Punch from a Lucario. What in the world? The defense stats go down. This next Bullet Punch definitely kills after that. And now Lucario is facing down a Melmetal. Goes to the Drain Punch. One-hit KOs. One-hit KOs. That's crazy. Bullet Punch again. And the Earthquake KOs. Is Regidrago about to counter sweep? Great Tusk is on the field. Easily tanks the Earthquake. Life Orb Chip puts it at 1%. And Great Tusk just hits it with like a BB gun. Just pew! Snipes it off the field. How is Lucario sub 10 points? It sucks. But it's made good by Terra typing. So that's how. And a lot of Pokemon are in that category. We tried to move as many of them above, the 10-point margin as we could, but we probably moved 60 Pokemon over that limit. Like, so many things are broken, you're gonna miss some. And you know what? That's just little Halloween candy treats for the people who find them. Like Jolteon. Jolteon is 5 points. That is absolutely insane that you could have Terra Ice Jolteon for 5 points. But, I can't get everything. So, game one, yeah, great value, fantastic value. And you see things like Tylords for Alligator is insane under 10. I think my Arctozolt's really good. Being able to Terra Electric Bolt Beak is just a bomb of a button. Jolteon's great. The Obama Snows are fantastic. Not really because of Terra, but I just forgot that Hail happened, which now boosts their defense, and they put up Aurora Veil. So the Obama Snow and the Mega Obama Snow have like 600 base defense and special defense with the Aurora Veils up, and they're like 4 points. They are insane Pokemon now. It's just, when things get updated, we use the same point sheets. I update what I can, but, we let things slide through the tracks. If we did hit everything, Terra would be a waste. It still have value, but it is nerfed from the fact that we use only under 10 pointers. Okay, so major DSM vibes. Moving the Pokemon's point values around was an open summit where everyone was allowed, but guess what? One fucking person showed up. So if you want to complain to me that, these point values are wrong, maybe you guys should put in some work and come to the summit meetings where we talk about rules and we talk about point values. But no, one person showed up. So, alright, allow me to not freak out on my chat there for a second. It's fine. I actually had a lot of fun. Those I really did. We spent like 4 hours going through point values. So it was a good time. Game 2, let's see if the Black Dog can prevent himself from being put in that early hole, and if David repeats the same things he did the first game. We get the Latios versus Regidrago. That's different from the first game. Regidrago goes for the Dragon Dance in front of the Latios, which is just a bad decision. It's, you're just boosting in front of your own weakness is ballsy, because the Black Dog can just rip an attack right at you. As now Latios is going for his own boosts. Brazen, again, he got KO'd the last turn. He's boosting Spadef as if Bolt Strike is a special move, but it's physical. But it's honestly not doing much damage. Like, is this a physically defensive Latios? Was it like Recover Calm Mind maybe? Because it is just boosting up in David's face. But what's the speed gonna be like? If it's like a max speed Latios, it's probably like 180 now. Getting Thunder Punched, it's slower than a Melmetal. The Psychic's not KOing, but this thing is just so tanky. Doesn't care. Latios is an incredible Pokemon, something I've always personally wanted on my draft team. TJ says it's correct. Yeah, it's a fizz death. Thunder Punch, 20%. Hold up, I just want to pause on that last turn. Lucario being sub 10 was not an attack, little FYI. We don't like seeing the Blacksmiths, Brownies, Murphy having nice things. Yo, you're fine. You're fine. I didn't take it as an attack at all. I just... Sometimes when I'm streaming, I just like want to have things like get excited about and talk about. And then sometimes it turns into me like getting really aggressive, even though I'm not aggressive at all or angry. Like, I'm totally cool. It's just... I get fired up on stream, you know? Okay, so Latios versus Melmetal is just brutal. It's doing no damage. Latios is recovering. I'm honestly shocked that these Thunder Punches are doing... I mean, no, I shouldn't be shocked. It's a resisted move. Final Gambit into the Latios, almost KOs. Goes back into the Melmetal for more. What does he have for us now? The Double Iron Bash doing more than 50% of the Great Tusk. And the Headlong Rush critting. That might matter? I don't know. I think Great Tusk has a lot of damage output, but Melmetal has a lot of tank for that kind of attack. The Clam starts boosting up and gets taken down to its sash by a close combat from the Tusk. But again, Murph's team, the Black Dog's team, is so full of priority that it doesn't care about any of this. It resists all of Cloyster's attacks, despite Cloyster hitting every single Icicle Spear it can and critting, destroys the Magnezone. Magnezone should not be intimidated by a Cloyster. And then we just get the Bullet Punch, it takes it down, and now we are in a 5 versus 2 situation. Ceruledge's... Alright, so here's a decision that the Black Dog made here, right? So he Bullet Punches the Cloyster, it falls down, and then the Ceruledge comes out. So, the Black Dog was put in a pickle. Basically, he could take this thing down to its sash right here, and, you know, he gets what he wants. He gets his Swords Dance off, he gets his boost off, and I guess the Black Dog probably just wanted to maybe sack to this thing, and maybe Bullet Punch to break the, whatchamacallit, the Focus Sash. Bullet Punch, break the Focus Sash, and maybe sack so that he can get something like a Great Tusken. But the downfall of that is that he ends up barely doing any damage and giving the weak armor boost to the Ceruledge, who's then like able to like Bitter Blade after his Swords Dance and stuff. And Ceruledge just likes having more HP than less, like every other Pokemon, because now he can't really priority KO it. It almost would have been better to just go right into the Tusk or something, take it down to the Sash, then go Lucario and use that priority move. So the Bitter Blade comes out, Latios falls, Great Tusk falls. When are we going to see... the defense stats are dropping, so Pinsir can maybe come in with like an Aerial 8 move. Yep, the quick attack. The weak armor boost continues. Ceruledge takes another KO, and now it's fast. Now it's real fast. How does the Black Dog get out of this situation? He goes to the Terra Steel attack. Oh, because his defense has been lowering so much that the Bullet Punch that did barely no damage is now able to just outright KO. After a Terra boost, obviously. And then we get the Dark Pulse Grimmsnarl giving a justified Lucario, which is just something you not often are seeing. That's cool. That was a good ending. I liked it. That was a good game. Alright, let me read the chat. Sucks your Terra plans got foiled. Yeah, I was a piece of shit, and if you guys didn't know, I totally did lower Breloom to like 9 points before the season started, and then someone, we won't say who, called it out and said, hey, Breloom was 10 points, and you lowered it under the amount so that it could use Terra. And yeah, I did that, and I got called out for it. Yeah. Deep State never officially rigged anything, but it tried. And the second I tried to rig anything, I immediately got called out and failed. So we don't do that, allegedly. All right, do we have any more matches this week? Looks like the Jeff versus Hector match is still going. Hector's still deafened in his, so I assume they're still going. Let's check it out. Let's see if we can jump in. I just want to see how the match is going, if they're playing properly. Woo! A 3v4 situation. I'm excited to see that. The DSM, the Deep State Murphs. Yeah, we got the Haymaker match to watch. I was planning on going to that next. I just wanted to see if anything else had come in yet. First, how many matches did it take Haymaker to put his buddy in the ground? Music off, dark on, music off, dark on. Oh, this is fucking not the match. Those are Tyler's. Where's the Haymaker matches? Alright, there they are. Music off, dark on. Music off, dark on. I notice a lack of Aarons here. Golden Boy's done, huh? Oh, just one match is done. Just one match is done. Cool. So, Tyler, did you hear about last night's Aaron debacle that went on? It was catastrophic, some might say. I'm bringing Aaron next week, too, let me tell you. Yeah, everybody gets a free Aaron on their teams. Ugh. I do want to know where it fucked up, though. Like, they say that he drafted it. So that assumes, like... So basically, Jorge, the acquitted ace team, has been using Aaron all season. And it's just not on his team roster. And it was in his team name. And his team is full on points. So it's not like he was given it and it was accounted for in his points, but it was just missing from the sheet. Nobody knows like when it happened. There was no trades of it, but like everybody just assumed he had an Aaron. He's been using it all season. And somehow nobody has raised it to my attention that his sheet was messed up and he's been using an illegal Pokemon. People claim that they raised it to my attention, but I have zero recollection of that. And yeah, so I guess the working theory of what happened is that during the draft day, he... Alright, Luke. It's been a stream for the ages. Good night, good well. Enjoy it. Go to bed. Sleep tight. So basically, the working theory is that he drafted it within the first 4 rounds. Within the first 4 rounds. And then I didn't put it on the sheet, but he's the only Pokemon that I forgot to put on the sheet. And then also, after those rounds, he had to go. So he had to text in all his drafts. And in doing that, he did not account for the Aaron because it wasn't on the sheet. And filled up his point roster. But like, be responsible for your own points. Correct me if your sheet's messed up. You know, I'm managing 18 teams that weekend. So, excuse me if I miss one. Anyway, that's the drama. Basically, he brought an Aaron to the match and got called out for it not being on his sheet. And then we have to go, how did we make it 12 weeks into the season and nobody made a stink about a missing Pokemon? So, Game 1, Acquitted Ace versus Haymaker, our number 2 seed player this season, versus one of our play-in matches. So let's see if the Haymaker can assert his dominance and remind us why he's the rank 2 Pokemon. We have Kyurem versus the Baxcalibur, the Darth Vader versus the Kylo Ren, the Dragon Ice type duo. Both switch into their Steel types, almost playing a bit of a mirror match. We get a Body Press Core versus a T-Wave Fire Punching, probably Serene Grace Jirachi. Ironheads into the Primarina. Jorge just has a horrible time getting Ironheaded because he's got so many weaknesses, right? He's got nothing but Fairy types, Dragons, and Steels on his team. And his Dragon is also steel weak because it's an ice type. So he's just spamming the Thunder Waves. Sadly, he wasn't able to get the substitute up before that, or he would have caught Haymaker with his pants down. Calm Mind Primarina is incredibly powerful and let Matt Way win a ton of games last season, but the Serene Grace is giving the flinches as its God-given right. Jirachi is just far too powerful. Gardevoir goes for the trick, gives a Scarf to the Jirachi, which I would normally say is not what you want, but Haymaker clicked the Thunder Wave and got locked into it, so that went well. And pretty much forced the Jirachi out. So what's going on here? Mystical Fires. I kind of want to slow this down. I feel like I got to talk too fast. This is too much for me. So the Electros, the only Terra user on the team right now, is actually able to OHKO the Corviknight without even needing to use his Terra. As I've said before, Haymaker's used his Electros very well with the defensive Terra typings. And once again, looks like he's gone for the Fairy to try and avoid those Dragon type attacks, but maybe a Rock type or a Steel type would have done him better to tank that Freeze Dry. But he rips another Flamethrower, which ends up being neutral into the Kyurem. But it still does a good bit, 3-hit KOing. Well, it could 3-hit KO. But instead, both users just decide to switch out. We get the Hydreigon versus Togekiss, a very Togekiss positive matchup. I'm starting to realize how maybe RNG dependent his team is with the two different Serene Grace users just spamming Thunder Waves. A good strategy might be to bring, your ground types and your unflinchable Mons. I don't know why there's so much laughing going on in the chat. Why are people laughing? So we get the Iron Heads. We're gonna get an Earthquake. You can't paralyze this. He can just rip solid Earthquakes. I would probably just go into the 2 flinches, getting the taste of his own medicine. The Excadrill flinching down a Serene Grace Jirachi. Can we go for 3? No! The Drain Punch into the Jirachi gives it a lot of health back. Can we just get, an Earthquake here? Instead, he decides to save his Excadrill at 1% health. Dangerous decision, but his opponent can't get up any sort of Stealth Rock, so you don't need to worry about Hazard Control versus Haymaker. So, I guess he's not worried, I guess he's probably bringing a Scarf set based on that usage of Iron Head. Gardevoir versus Togekiss, Fairy on Fairy Violence. And it's just Paralyzation. I'm going to start speeding this back up. 40%. Healing Wish going in to save the Excadrill. Huge. Absolutely huge. Expert job saving it. So he's just going to, rip an Iron Head into the Rachi and is able to secure the KO with his last Iron Head. Freaking nice. What do we got next? Buzzswole. Game over. That's game. Yep, KOs. Gets a boost. And he's just gonna, Drain Punch through the rest of this team. Woo! Is this a Pokemon League or a high school rendition of Hamlet? To be or not to be swept is the question. Well, wait, how did he... Is this not the classic Join a Scarf Buzzswole? Or is this another Scarfed up Hydreigon? Scarf on Scarf Violence, the Fire Blast, KOs the Buzzswole. Okay, I think it is because he goes for Fire Blast again. Makes me think he's locked into it. Lets that go down, goes into the Kyurem. So yeah, I think this is some Scarf on Scarf shit going on. We get the Freeze Dry, getting the KO. He's actually doing really good. Another Freeze Dry KO on the Electros. The differential's not looking great. Palafin doesn't love... When did he turn into hero form? But is that another Scarf or just naturally faster? Who's to say? Entertaining stuff, baby girl. And that's just the first match. So, let's look at the changes that were made. The Electros ends up getting dropped to the Slowbro Galar, who I believe is the proper point value to be able to Terra. Might be able to get something interesting here. Holy shit, lots of good matches in. Lots of good matches. I'm exhausted. I might just stream those other matches tomorrow or something. This is exhausting. There's so many. It's just like we're literally doubling to even tripling the amount of matches we have to watch in a night. So we get the Will-O-Wisp into the Baxcalibur, but it's got Thermal Exchange, so it's immune, which is fantastic for it. Gets a knockoff, knocks off the loaded dice, but doesn't matter when he's got 2 Dragon Dances in a row. I think I'd take my dances over my loaded dice. No matter how much I love loaded dice, Lord knows I bring loaded dice Breloom every week and it just gets KO'd. Oh, I thought this was the week. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. But we all know this is just going to be a Baxcalibur sweep, right? Icicle Spear only hits 2 without those loaded dice, so maybe he wishes he kept them. Goes to the Dragon Claw. Looks like we're going to have like an Iron Defense Body Press. So, yeah, it's going to be able to just, Body Press into the Baxcalibur. If he can roost up here first, that'd be great. Looks like Haymaker's fishing for a crit. A crit and a lot of hits. Does that. Body Press goes off. And right into the Rachi. Looking very similar to my match versus Haymaker. His team is very, very weak to this. But his Pokemon is not immune to Thunder Wave like mine was. So, but the Rachi's gone, so now he just wins, right? No! Wrong! He's got the Flamethrower tech to take down the Corviknight. And looks like he wants to save that Corviknight, maybe bring it back later, try and go for the same thing again once he's removed the Togekiss. Gardevoir, revealing that once again this game he's running Trick, just like he did last game. Tricking the Choice Scarf onto the Togekiss, not your best choice. It's really dangerous to give Scarfs to these flinch-fishing Pokemon, the Togekiss and the Jirachi, because now they're fast, so they can flinch even your fastest Pokemon. They actually kind of like if they can get the Thunder Wave down and then start flinching with your Scarf. Switches the backs into the Rock Slide, manages to survive, shockingly, but the Sandstorm chips it down. I got my dick tugged on a little bit there. They punked me out. The Jet Punch, I believe that's priority, right? Is Jet Punch priority? I think it is. I get Jet Punch and Wave Crash confused. It's definitely got to be priority. We get the Slowbro versus Sableye, the lowest point Pokemon on both teams, I believe. Terra Blast. Wow, Slowbro gets Terra Blast. Good for Slowbro. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool, actually. The Terra Fairy Blast. But Protect spamming, just slowing the game down. And we get the Gardevoir in. Woohoo! Holy shit, I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. So fucking tired. What are we gonna do for the next game? Yeah, Slowbro is shockingly sweeping. Manages to survive the knockoff, and we actually get a Slowbro sweep at the end. What, did he pick up like 3 KOs? That's crazy. 3 KOs from a Terra Fairy Slowbro to end the game. That's incredible, really. Looks like Hector versus Goof Meek is going for 3 games, I think. Let's check that out. Just want to throw out a good luck, have fun to the fellas. Looks like their game's live. If you want to check that out, check it out. I'm not going to go watch that. But, go support the boys in the chat. I got replays to watch. It's like Liam's still playing. Alright, we're gonna watch my own matches then. Ooh-wee. Ooh, fucking wee. I'm shocked to see Goof Meek didn't bring the Goodra in this match. That hydration is really good on it. Hydration, I believe, cures status in the rain. And it's just got a great, it's got those elemental resistances. It's really great in this matchup, so I'm surprised I'm not seeing it. Regieleki makes sense. Torkoal, you gotta bring it. Interesting. Fucking interesting. I'd love to see that those matches went the distance. So, this is my first game in the round 1 of playoffs. And since I just had my record stolen away from me of having the fastest sweep in the league, I decided that I wanted to just go for a Chilling Reception turn 1 and try and get a sweep with Bolt Beaks, and I was hoping I could wrap this up in 7 games. What ends up happening may shock you. Click the link to read more. We immediately get the Will-O-Wisp. I'm protected from it by Chilling Receptioning into my Arctozolt, and I'm ready to sweep. But instead, he protects, and yeah, no longer can get the record. Bolt Beak doesn't even matter because it still survives with 3%. And so not getting the sweep again, I get burnt, and it's just not going my game. I end up stomping, tantruming, hoping to maybe catch a switch in. Dugtrio comes out, I go into my Lando, because it's just such a great counter, and he predicts that and double switches into the Skarmory. I try to U-turn, get some good positioning, and that's when we discovered that Skarmory is Rocky Helmet. So he body presses into my Moth, and now I'm looking good to just rip a Discharge. It hits his entire team except the Dugtrio, so I had to be very careful. And I go for a second Discharge, and he calls it out and goes into the Dugtrio. I go back into my Lando, and he goes for another Earthquake, and I think I take this opportunity to set up some rocks, right? He goes to the Body Slam, I get paralyzed, I get my rocks up, and then he goes into the Skarm to defog. Something I had considered for this matchup was doing Stealth Rocks with Landorus to bait out Skarmory, and then being like a Swords Dance Rock Polish set, and just Earthquaking through his whole team. But, you know, then there's a Skarmory in front of me. So I was thinking, like, maybe we could put Smackdown in there, and that would have been cool. But that's what the plan was. I was considering it. We end up U-turning, taking more Rocky Helmet chip, but I considered it worth it to safely get my Iron Moth in, and then Flamethrowering, because it hurts almost the entire team, except for the Pex, who's now very weakened. We go into the Galvantula off the KO. I get my Landorus out, but I don't have removal on this team, and I get punished for it pretty quickly, you'll see. So what I end up doing is getting another Chilling Reception off, managing to barely survive the Terra Bug Buzz, and I go into my Arctozolt, who I had as White Herb, so that I can take the Sticky Webs. And then I'm able to throw off a Stomping Tantrum. I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, just a total lapse in judgment on move selection there. I was kind of expecting the Dugtrio to come out, I guess. Or maybe the Pex. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I should have just Bolt Beaked and KO'd the Galvantula, because now I'm down a turn of snow, and I have to switch out my fucking Arctozolt. Or at least so I thought. I was worried about priority. I thought it might have Bullet Punch or something. I didn't really remember its move pool. So I pull it out, and he just ended up Iron Heading. So I could have Stomping Tantrumed and gotten the KO and probably would have won the game. But instead I make a switch, and just those 2 bad turns in a row end up costing me this game, as despite being up 6-3, I am not able to pull it together in the face of this Pheromosa, who's just hit and run tactics, ends up sniping my Breloom on the switch with the triple axle, and it's getting these speed boosts and these defense boosts. I don't have priority on my team. I think I can boost up with agility to be faster, but I forgot about the beast boost speed, so he's still faster even after my agility, and gets another Throat Chop off, KOing my Mega Metagross on the turn I tried to Zen Headbutt. And now we're just looking so bad. I'm scarfed up, but I'm under webs. He ends up U-turning. And it's just nasty. I got the scarf, but webbed up Moth, spamming Flamethrowers. Dugtrio comes out, Earthquakes, KOs. My chat is making cum jokes. Pheromosa comes out, hits a big U-turn, I think, something like that. What is it, Close Combat? Yeah. Pheromosa is actually faster than my Slush Rush Arctozolt because of those Sticky Webs. That's how important they were to this game. And the U-turn gets a giant KO on the Slowking. Honestly impressed, because that was a Fizz-Def Slowking. Just a testament to the power of Pheromosa, as Dugtrio is able to KO my Landorus. Yeah, so basically, I made 2 bad turns in a row, and that cost me the game. And you'll see that in this game, there's no bad turns, right? I switch in a Rocky Helmet onto my Landorus, and that makes a huge difference. I decide to try and use the Iron Moth in front of the Sableye to prevent me from getting Will-O-Wisp. But he calls out my U-turn, and I know he's going to Wisp, so I go into someone who doesn't care, which is Slowking, who's not a physical attacker, who has leftover recovery, doesn't care about the burns, and we go back into the Arctozolt. Expecting to protect, I go for a substitute. Now he can't Will-O-Wisp me. He also doesn't have Prankster anymore, so I really didn't care about the Will-O-Wisp. We get a Bolt Beak. It doesn't KO. He turns off my Slush Rush with his Sunny Day, but I still have the Substitute up, which allows me to safely KO the Dugtrio, even if it was Sash, for example. He does get the Tangling Hair. I did change out Life Orb, replacing the White Herb because I didn't want to get a KO staying on like 1% again. So I wanted that little extra damage boost to help with my sweeping. Charizard in the Sun is super scary. Flare Blitz still does 33% to a max defense Intimidate Landorus. And Charizard kind of just gets wiped from Flare Blitz chip, from Rocky Helmet chip, and then just U-turning. Yeah, we got rid of the Charizard easy peasy. Now we got Scarf Moth on the field, who's super, super dangerous now. Super dangerous. Rocks are up, chipping away at Pheromosa every time it comes on the field. Sableye super low on health. And Pex is stalling out the game. So I know his tendency to stall out the game with Pex when it starts looking bad for him. So I go into my Metagross, who is not immune to the knockoff. It doesn't really care. Doesn't care about a Toxic from Toxapex. I do worry about Scald, but I know that my opponent doesn't have a history of running Scald. So I pull out Metagross and I start boosting with Agility. And at that point, I just start sweeping. Metagross. Okay. Yeah, we just start sweeping with Zen Headbutts. And that's game. That was murder. Haymaker said in the chat, vet move. I'm guessing in reference to name bad word calling out my Zen Headbutt with a dark type. So, changes we made for this game. I want to say none. I think I made no changes. Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, we ball. That worked so well. I got a 6-0 sweep. Let's go for more. I tried to just... Oh, I remember now. I made this Iron Moth choice specs. That's the change. I made it choice specs and Overheat and Flamethrower. But instead of Flamethrower, it's Flame Charge because I messed up while editing. So now in this position where I want to click a specs Flamethrower, I end up having to click Overheat and missing. So I get no sort of chip and just a bad position. Let's rewind. It was your agility calling to protect. Thank you. I appreciate calling out my vet moves. Metagross goes for Zen Headbutt, doing a colossal amount of damage, taking Galvantula down to his Focus Sash, and I'm able to just clean that up with Bullet Punch very smoothly. Very smoothly, if I say so myself. With the Iron Moth getting taunted, but it doesn't matter because it's a Specs U-turn set. Discharge Oko's the Zard without question. Goes into Sableye. I want to rip another Discharge, but he's smart enough to go into the Dugtrio. I kind of expected that, but I have such a good position that I don't really care. And if I can get any sort of damage down on anyone, that's fine by me. Go into the Lando. The Dugtrio ain't got nothing for me. He really should have been like Terra Ice, Terra Blast. If Dugtrio gets Terra Blast, that would have been able to snipe my Landorus on many occasions, and that would have done very well for him. Instead, I'm able to go into the Metagross and Bullet Punch, which I end up getting Tangling Hair slowing me down, but I don't care. Because I got Bullet Punch. So he goes to the Pheromosa, who I know is Throat Chop, so I end up just giving him some Rocky Helmet chip with Lando and just Intimidate dropping him. What I want to do is Intimidate cycle him. I have 2 Intimidate Pokemon, so I can just keep switching in and out and bottom out his attack stat super quickly. But he goes Pex. So I start boosting. And I start bulking up. I decide to Earthquake here, I think. No, I go for another bulk up on the Baneful Bunker. So we've done that like thrice in the series. And get a 2 times bulked up Hitmontop with Earthquake. Still scared Sableye, so I think I go Iron Moth and just start clicking Specs Discharge. Don't know why. That seems like a bad decision. Oh, because I don't have Flamethrower. Yeah, I have Flame Charge. In this position, I would have loved to be clicking Flamethrower, but I didn't have it, so I was just clicking Discharge instead. Holy shit. GG's, we get the Paralysis. That's game, fellas. Woo-wee! How's this game going for the boys? Brutal. Okay, looks like Cerulean and Liam didn't save their game 1. That's insane. Okay, I'm gonna start watching the Hector versus Goof series, I guess. This is a super interesting matchup. I think Hector is the better player who game planned more coming into this game. However, I do think Goof Meek has the better team with the Chi-Yu, the Mega Mawile, the Torkoal to turn off his rain, the Regieleki to sweep him up. I think that this is a positive matchup for Goof Meek, but I think in every other respect he's outclassed. So let's see, if a good team is enough to win. You get the Brute Bonnet versus Swampert. I think this is a great matchup for Brute Bonnet. He goes Bullet Seed, which breaks the substitute, KOs the Swampert, and just murders it. So we immediately, turn 2, Hector's down. The power of the good team. Regieleki comes in on the Pelipper. Pelipper probably doesn't want it, ends up going into the Ferrothorn as the Regieleki wild charges. I probably would have gone aggressively into my Slitherwing, because there's no way he's leaving the Regieleki. He's leaving his Water Weeks in on the Eleki. He goes to the Torkoal, gets that Sun off. Pelipper comes out, turns the rain back on, and Stealth Rocks go up. That's good. This is going to be a very switch-heavy match, so having those rocks up is good. It also punishes him for trying to get his weather back on often. He's Whirlpool trapped. Thunder Punch KOs the Pelipper, so once that rain is gone, it is gone for the rest of the game. Goof Meek is playing great. He turns the rain off right away. Surf does a lot of damage, but it's okay because now its power is just cut forever. Well, not forever. For the next couple of turns. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, guys. I'm telling you, it's a big deal. We get the attack-boosted Protosynthesis Slitherwing. Hurricane's accuracy is cut in the sun, and the close combat rips. And that's strong, because that Protosynthesis attack boost off that huge attack stat is huge. Close combat does 40% to Clef. And if he's got a Moonblast, it's game. No, Draining Kiss. Draining Kiss is not going to hurt that bad. I didn't know Clef got Draining Kiss. That's kind of crazy. Goes into the Brute Bonnet. Seems like a terrible decision. I don't know why on earth you would do that. Why would you do that? What's going on here? And he just goes into the Mawile then. Seems like he should have gone Mawile from the jump. Goes into the Ferrothorn, which can take the Mawile very well if you ask me. Yeah. Iron Heads, then we got the Iron Barbs. It's Goof Meek's game to lose, personally, but I don't think he will lose. Ends up going into the Chi-Yu on the Stealth Rocks. Now Hector's in trouble, because he can just spam Specs Flamethrowers and win this game from here. As the Flamethrower does rip, does get the burn, Hector's having bad luck, and he can just keep Flamethrowering. Keep putting on that fire pressure. Regice thinks he can take the hit. Newsflash, he can't. Oh, the Terra Ground does 24%, and now the Regice has lost his weakness. Yeah, get rid of that Slitherwing. The Terra Ground Regice is huge. It's a huge way for him to be able to handle the Regieleki. The Giga Drain still doing nothing. Nothing, because it's so specially defensive even with that advantage. But close combat is enough to KO because of Regice's lack of physical defense. Ferrothorn thinks it can take this hit, but it can't either. That close combat destroys it. And Goof Meek manages to take game 1. That's the power of a strong team, and actually very good play. There was only a few turns there where I was really second-guessing the decisions Goof Meek was making. So playing very well in the playoffs, Goof Meek is. Let's go round 2. We immediately get the Pelipper and versus the Brute Bonnet. I'm pulling my Brute Bonnet out here. Instead, he goes for the Spore. And that's great, because Pelipper can't prevent, Torkoal from coming in with things like U-Turn or aggressive Hydro Pumps or Weather Balls. Instead, the Bullet Seed does far more to his Zapdos than I personally expected. Mawile is able to switch in on the resisted attack, but it's not enough, really. But luckily, the Mega Evolution gives it some more defense and enough power to KO the Zapdos. Looks like a good lead right now. Brute Bonnet switches in on Swampert. I approve. Liquidation does 38%. If he hasn't... Now his defense is lower. He probably has Ice Punch. Nope, we see Ferrothorn coming out, taking 53% from the Brute Bonnet. I don't know why Goof Meek didn't bring his Regieleki, though. I think it pressures his opponent so well. But Brute Bonnet is just chipping down his opponent so incredibly well. Slitherwing comes out thinking it can take the surf, but really you just needed to get that rain off. Right now you go directly into the Torkoal. Get this rain off now. You need it off now. He's asleep. Get the rain off. Turn the rain off. Stop clicking that button. Get the rain off. Stop clicking the button. Get the rain off. But instead you're just dying. Get the rain off. All right, there. Now he sacks into the Torkoal, and the Regirock comes out. Goof gets the rocks up. Okay decision. Brute Bonnet hits the field. And Regirock body presses. It's a very nice body press. Mawile comes out. Ironhead almost KOs the rock. Gets the flinch, so it is able to KO now. But he goes into the Ferrothorn, probably gets some Iron Barbs chip, and I think KOs. Goofmeek calls that, and they both end up going down. He does die from the Iron Barbs, but he calls it, clicks Fire Fang, and KOs the Ferrothorn. The rain's back up, and Chi-Yu Dark Pulses to get the KO. Now, if I'm Goof, I think I'm turning this off with Torkoal right away. Flames go up. The sun is on. The water's off. But Swampert clicks the Substitute. Does Yawn bypass Substitute? Because that's a great way to force this Swampert out. Instead, he goes into the Goodra. Does Goodra have... Looks like Goodra is packing HP Grass instead of Power Whip, but it's already over. Chi-Yu is able to outspeed and not KO with the Dark Pulse, and he isn't able to get his second lucky flinch in a row. Instead, we have a full power Torkoal trying to take these attacks. Not the move here. You wanted to... Oh my god. Wow, that's a lot of power. Okay, I feel like Hector just squeaks by with that. Just barely squeaks by. But he does get the win. Let's see if he can make it a deciding win in Game 3. Or if Goofmeek is able to wrap up this series and get the win. So Brute Bonnet versus Zapdos leads. We have an electric on electric violence here. As he goes for the Alecki, and out comes the Swampert, who is your Alecki counter. So we go into the Slitherwing. So he goes for a substitute. Okay, Slitherwing's able to take that Earthquake nicely. Slitherwing has the attack boost. And he goes for a Trailblaze into the Zapdos. Is that really what you want? Nope, he's paralyzed now. Not looking good. Fire-type Weather Ball KOs the Slitherwing. Looking bad. Looking real bad. But we have a Sun-boosted Chi-Yu shot coming in. Goes to the Flamethrower, doing 84%. I think you just go get your Sun back up. Instead, Regieleki gets trapped. This is bad for Goof. Looks like Hector's destroying. Goof is not playing as well as he did in the first game or even the second game. He's really just playing kind of ugly baseball here. Brute Bonnet has been a saving grace for Goofmeek in these matches, though. Let's see if he can continue that trend. Does a ton of damage to the Zapdos. Brute Bonnet putting in way more damage than I think anyone really expects from it. As the Weather Ball comes out, doing nothing to Chi-Yu. That's a Fire-type Weather Ball. As the Pelipper comes out, is he smart enough to click the Dark Pulse this time? Yes, he is, doing 66% to the Pelipper. Let's go for another one. Let's just keep Dark Pulsing. Let's see who wants to take this Dark Pulse. Come on. You want to play this game? Let's play this game. Rain's gone for good. The rain's gone for good. Dark Pulse again. Do it. Be fucking crazy. Dark Pulse again. Okay, maybe it's smart that you don't think like me. We go Brute Bonnet. Probably takes the Earthquake decently. I think we saw earlier. Yeah, 29%. Now we got the attack boost. And we go Ferrothorn. Close combat. Almost KOs. Almost KOs! We just keep ripping shots. We just keep ripping shots. Now with the rain gone, Goof has really turned the tables. He's able to put on his own weather pressure. Goof has done a very good job of controlling the weather in this series. The close combat almost KOs the Zapdos, but no paralysis this time. Thank God for that. At least for Goofmeek, he's saying thank God. Goes into the Mawile. Gets O-Code. That's nasty. That's very nasty. We get the Torkoal, bringing out the Sun. Don't know why you would want to stall out these turns. Instead, he rain dances that away. And now the weather is back in Hector's favor. And he's loving it. He's loving that he's able to do this damage. And he's going to just sweep. He can sweep from here. Yeah, he just surfs. And he can Hurricane. And that's game. And Hector made the right decisions, had the right moves to wrap this up in the end. Very well done. Very, very well done, Hector. Whew, I'm sweating. Okay, here is our game 1. Is anybody still here watching? I don't know if I want to keep doing this. You have a post for game 1. Liam posted it as well. So we're good. Bah. So we have a 3-game series here of a former championship contender versus amateurs only, one of our rising stars this season. Let's see if he can defend his honor, or if the rising star is able to prove his worth. We get the Diancie lead versus the Cinderace lead. We get a U-turn into the Mew versus lead Stealth Rocks. So, substitute from the Cerulean, kind of giving himself the option to maybe avoid a U-turn, for example. Ends up going for a Cosmic Power Mew set, so maybe it's a Cosmic Power Body Press or something. The knockoff does a ton of damage, but the Body Press does just as much damage right back to the Meowscarada. Both players kind of playing some hijinks here. The Body Press doing a ton to the Diancie. Does Mew have Soft Boiled? It would appear not. He's just Cosmic Powering and spamming. Does he get the Diamond Storm defense boost? No. So we're not going to see some damage from there. We have a Dusclops who won Cerulean a game earlier in the season. Looks like he's going for a Calm Mind, which isn't bad, versus the Goldengo. Goldengo goes for a T-Wave as Dusclops continues to Calm Mind boost, goes for the Terra Stab, Terra Ghost, Ghost Attack, almost KOing Goldengo, but not enough, as the Hex is also not able to KO through all those special defense boosts, despite the Nasty Plot, despite the base power double of the status. And Knockoff is able to clean it up. Meowscarada doing a lot of work this game for amateurs only. And we got the Urshifu, so kindly named after me, U-turns and gets the KO. We have a 4 versus 4 situation. Once again, we loop back to turn 1. Diancie versus the Cinderace. Bit of a repeat there, as the Diancie tries to Earth Power, and Cerulean should have not expect Earth Power, but does go into a Flying type and avoids it. Toxic goes down on Diancie, very nice. Looks like Tornadus wants to stall it out, protect Toxic. It's going to be able to, regenerate if it wants to switch out. He goes into the Iron Treads. Does he Earth Power again? No, instead he switches out to the Rotom Heat, which has a very nice matchup and successfully wastes the booster energy on the Donphan. So I think Amateurs Only is feeling pretty hot in this situation, especially with the Rotom Heat out on the field. How about that? Ain't that cute? Whoa. Let's back that up. Let's look at this, how he manages to burn a Cinderace because it Terra Normals. That's crazy. I think I actually did that to Cerulean last year as well. He Terra Normal, he used Libero to become a Bug type. Yeah. And ended up burning himself on my Flame Body. That's cool. Which is the same thing that happened there. He court changed, which made him normal. He didn't actually Terra. That would be illegal. Quaquaval threatening to sweep in this situation, just rapid spinning up as high as it can. As the Urshifu is just trying to... Quaquaval gets Roost? Are you kidding me? That's too much. Ban it. It's gone. That's way too good. Now it's Moxied, it's speed boosted, it KOs Iron Treads, and Cinderace dies too. That's game. Holy shit, that's terrifying. It gets Roost? Of all things, Roost? Are you kidding me? Holy crap. That's insane. Bah. Alright. Game 2! Give it up for game 2! We've been here too long! Let's give it up for game 2, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2, Cinderace leading again, just like game 1. Instead, we get Obama who takes the U-turn, and what does he do? Does he set up an Aurora Veil? He does. We have Obama versus Obama action, one being Mega, which is why this is legal. And now both players have their Aurora Veils up. Amateurs Only goes to the Electro Web, slows down the Obama. Whereas Cerulean decides to just get his Leech Seed off and then go into his Jolteon, catching the Volt Switch, getting the Volt Absorb, forcing the Rotom to stay in as the Obama comes back. Jolteon, Calm Mind Boost, looking very scary, especially with the Mystery Terra typing sort of left in the air, leaving us to wonder, what could that Jolteon be? The smart players will assume it's Terra Ice, but knowing Cerulean, this could be anything. Despite the Aurora Veil being up, Meowscarada gets threatened by the Ice Beam, which could 2-hit KO if left to its devices. We get Obama versus Obama again. Cinderace comes in, threatens the 4x Fire type attack, ends up U-turning and KOing the Obama. So once those screens are down for amateurs only, they are down for the rest of the game. Now the Quaquaval versus the Urshifu. Who is scarier with screens up? My money's on Urshifu, but Cerulean decides to go for the U-turn. Looks like he maybe wants the Cosmic Power in front of the Quaquaval, who goes for the Swords Dance. Looks like both players are attempting to boost with their screens up, but somebody's screens last just a little bit longer. And this is a totally different Quaquaval from the last game, I think, unless it shows the Roost again. Both one player Cosmic Powering, the other one Swords Dancing. The Swords Dance is 2 boosts, so it's able to get up just a little bit faster. But defense boosts are incredibly threatening. And if he's able to, do good roosting and the lack of good stab from Quaquaval, I think Mew wins. And it's dangerous to let him get this high because he's going to be able to Stored Power and Body Press sweep through your team. Because now he's going to be able to potentially Soft Boiled and heal back up if he has that. As he does. And now he's got the Leftovers recovery coming in hot. The Aqua Step doing so much damage as the Stored Power one-hit KOs. I mean, this has got to be game, right? Does this just sweep from here? Stored Power kills the Rotom. And then we got the Meowscarada gets Body Pressed. Now, smart people notice that Meowscarada has a 100% crit move. So he should be Flower Tricking here to hit through these defense boosts. But instead, he decides to knock off the Leftovers. Garchomp gets KO'd by Stored Power. Earthquake does nothing. Oh, Garchomp does manages to hang on with 4%. That does impress me. Soft Boiled again to full health. Earthquake 9%. We get the Stored Power KOing the Garchomp. And then Naganadel definitely gets O-Code. But how much damage can a Naganadel do? The world may never know. The Draco Meteor misses. Let's go into the third game. Are we going to have a repeat of a Stored Power sweep, or are we going to have a repeat of a Quaquaval sweep from earlier in the season, potentially? Or I think we got a Quaquaval sweep in game 1 here as well. So, who has the more dangerous sweeper? Who can get it up going faster? Did they make the proper changes? Cinderace tries the high jump kick raw into the Diancie, ends up missing, and crazy that Cerulean wants to high jump kick twice in a row when there's a ghost type on the other team. I mean, that is incredibly brave. I've never seen balls that size before. Obama Snow, no longer a mirror matchup. Both players don't have it. Only one player has the Aurora Veil, and as we've seen historically, Aurora Veil is incredibly potent in draft. But Amateurs Only says, no need. I don't need those screens. I can just boost without it. Tries to do like the Nasty Plot Thunderwave hacks, but Urshifu is just a force and Wicked blows right through the Goldengo. This is incredible. These are two of our best players, and whoever wins here is out. And it's just, I'm so excited to see who gets to move on when this game ends. This is incredible. Are we going to see the Calm Mind Tapu Fini gets Flower Tricked? Is that a KO? 20% and a crit. We get the Moonblast, doesn't KO. Looks like Tapu Fini should be threatened off the field as we go into the Abomasnow. Does he U-turn? Does he predict it? Amateurs Only is insane for leech seeding there. I'm Flower Tricking 100% of the time and not letting a Tapu Fini sweep me like that. Calm Mind Fini is so dangerous. And I'm not just saying that because it 6-0'd me earlier this season. Sludge Wave is doing nothing to Mew. Are we threatening to sweep again? I go Meowscarada and I'm Flower Tricking here. Flower Trick, hit through these crits. Hit through these crits. Goes to the knockoffs again. Does 20%. Are we getting swept? Did you not bring Taunt? He doesn't try to boost on the Meowscarada. Instead goes to the Body Press. And we get a forfeit. He didn't prep for the Mew. He didn't prep for the Mew and he just gave up in front of it. He had nothing for it. That's feels Really sad to see it, man. The first forfeit of the season. In the playoffs, of all places. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is it for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. As we move on to next week, we will see who remains moving on to week 3 after that. I cannot wait. The bodies are dropping faster than I can count them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the stream. Have a good night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Check out the TikTok